Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Lesson 7. The Half Lie. Can you think about a time when you told a lie? Why did you do it? How did you feel? What happened? Did you do it to get out of trouble, or did you do it to put someone in trouble? Let's read a story to know how one lie of a slave put both his master and mistress in trouble. Once upon a time, a merchant was walking through the market in Cairo when he saw a slave for sale. "How much is this slave for?" he asked. "Only 600 pieces of silver," replied the slave dealer, "for he has a single fault." "What's that?" said the merchant. "Why," said the slave dealer, "he always tells one lie each year, and if you buy him, you must put up with one lie each year." Now, the merchant loved a bargain. "Only one lie a year," thought he. "That is not much. Most slaves tell many more. So do I, for that matter." So he bought Kafur, as the slave was called, took him home and set him to work, and for some months all went well. Kafur was cheerful, obedient, and hard-working. He was very dedicated toward his work. On New Year's Day, the merchant and some of his friends rode out on their mules to a pretty flower garden a little way outside the city to celebrate. They took fruit and cakes with them, carpets to sit on, and musical instruments for the entertainment. Kafur went with them. At about midday, the merchant said to Kafur, "Mount my mule and ride home. Ask my wife for more pistachio nuts and bring them back as fast as you can." Kafur set off, but as he drew near the merchant's house, he tore his clothes and began to howl out loud. "Oh, my master," he sobbed. "Oh, my poor master. What will all of us become now?" Word meaning: slave, a person legally owned by someone and has no personal freedom. Bargain, something offered or bought at less than the normal price. Mule, animal. Many people, old and young, heard and gathered round him, and they all went along with him to his master's house. When the merchant's wife heard Kafur's cries and howls and saw the crowd of people, she ran to the door. "Oh, mistress," screamed the slave, the tears running down his face. "My poor master is dead. The old garden wall, in whose shade he was sitting with his friends, fell suddenly and killed them all." Then the merchant's wife wept, and so did her daughters, and all the women of the house, and all the women in the crowd ran in to comfort them. The merchant's wife ran through her home and, in despair, she began breaking the windows and smashing the china plates, just to show how much she loved her husband. That was often how people showed sorrow when the master of the house died. "Come, Kafur, and help me mourn," called out the merchant's wife, and between them they pulled down shelves, broke crockery, tore the rich hangings, and smeared soot on the walls. Bang! Went a blue and gold china coffee pot upon the floor. Crash! And Kafur, with a sob, hurled his master's precious coffee cups through the window. Smash! He threw a little ebony table inlaid with ivory after the coffee cups so that it broke into pieces in the courtyard, and all the while Kafur kept calling out, "Oh, my poor master! My poor master!" Kafur and the merchant's wife tore the gold embroidered cushions. Word meaning: screamed, make noise, smashing, hitting; mourn, to feel and show sorrow because somebody has died; smeared, to rub something dirty or greasy on the surface; ebony, a hard, black wood; inlaid, filled, set into the surface with different materials; ivory, the hard white substance that elephant tusks are made of. And ripped up the divans. Kafur, with a great tug, pulled down the high shelves which ran round the kitchen just under the roof, and clatter bang! All the green and blue china and silver and gold bowls on them fell to the floor and broke. Kafur worked with a will and ran all over the house, till soon the whole place was a ruin, with broken china, soot, and torn goods everywhere. "Now," said the merchant's wife, "let us go and fetch my poor husband's body." She ran out of the house, with all the people following her, and as they went through the streets more and more people began to join in. Kafur ran before them all, still howling and weeping and crying out, "Oh my poor master, my poor master." Soon he had outdistanced all the others, so that he got to the garden first, with a huge crowd some way behind. Then, though he still howled and wept, he began to cry out, "Oh woe, woe! Oh my mistress! My mistress! Who will care for me now?" His master, who was sitting peacefully with his friends, heard him. "What's this?" said the merchant, standing up and looking very pale. "What on earth has happened?" Word meaning: huge, very big, pale, dull. "Ah, my master," said Kafur, "when I reached your house, I found that it had fallen down and that everyone inside it had been killed." "My wife," said the merchant. "Dead," cried Kafur. "And the mule I loved to ride on?" "Crushed, too," cried Kafur. "And my son and my daughters?" "All dead," cried Kafur. "And the sheep and the geese and the hens too," said Kafur. Then the merchant beat his chest and tore his fine clothes. His friends, when they heard, wept too, and they all started off towards the city. They had not gone far when, of course, they met the merchant's wife and family, and the huge crowd of neighbors coming towards the ground. "Oh, are you safe?" cried the merchant's wife. "Oh, how is it with you?" cried the merchant. "Why, we are all right," said his wife. "But Kafur came weeping with his clothes torn and told us the wall of the garden had fallen upon you while you were feasting." "No," said the merchant, "Kafur ran in here, weeping and crying, clothes torn and with dust on his head, and told us the house had fallen upon you and that you were all killed." Then they both turned on Kafur, who was still weeping and crying and beating his chest. "How's this, you wretch?" said the merchant. "You won't get off lightly, I am telling you. Just wait till we get home, and then you will have a beating you won't forget." "Oh no, master," answered Kafur with a grin. "That would not be fair. You bought me cheap because I had one fault, and you said you would put up with the consequences of my telling one lie a year. So far this has only been half a lie. Before the end of the year I will tell the other half." The merchant was furious, but all the bystanders agreed that it would not be fair for him to punish Kafur. When he got home and found his house in such a state, and so much damage done, he remembered with horror that Kafur had talked about more lies before the year was out. "Do you call this only half a lie?" "Yes, master," said Kafur, grinning. "Why, then, a whole lie of yours would wreck a city, or even two. You're not going to tell the other half here, I can tell you. I had rather set you free. Be off out of my house at once." Word meaning: wretch, someone who is unhappy, poor or disliked. Get off lightly, escape without excessive punishment or expense. Grin, a wide smile. Consequences, something which happens because of an event of action. Furious, angry. Bystanders, crowd.
Like, share and subscribe.